Can you hear us on Zoom? Okay. I can hear that you can hear and hear.
Lynn, can you hear us? Adam, how are you feeling?
So the 4 people in the sanctuary with us, the hardcore people, are going to have to sing really loudly because you're the only ones that we can hear. Everyone else is going to be on mute, and we can see your energy. Don't worry, we can see your energy. But I also like to be able to hear voices.
You hear voices all the time.
And I'm out. Just kidding, I was just getting a siddur. Okay, we're going to begin on page. Hey, Jan. Is that? Look at this.
She can't see it.
Look at the Temple Sinai Bima one. Okay. Anyway, it was a siddur that you dedicated.
Page 10, we will begin with song.
Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom Maya Hayom Shabbat Shalom.
Should we have them all come up?
No, because that's not distanced.
Why don't we have everybody come up to help light Shabbat candles? I think we can safely have all 5 of you up here and still keep distance. Those of you at home, if you have Shabbat candles nearby, now is a great time to light at home. So if you want to... Pat Fields, we are not dancing around no matter how much you ask. So we're on page 2.
And Sasha, why don't you take the candle, the match, stick it in the lit candle. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, that makes a very satisfying noise.
Yep.
Here, you can use mine.
Are you reading? I'm waiting for you to read. No, you're reading. Go.
And then into the water. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvanu l'chadikneu shel Shabbat.
Amen. And grab your loved ones.
Or the person next to you, either way.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom. Yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom. Yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom.
And
Okay.
now, Kiddush.
Which one of you is going to hold the cup?
Or you can do it. Do something. Go on.
Rick, Carol, so we can just pass the blessings along. And you're going to sing loudly into the microphone, right?
Rick's going to sing very loudly.
Page 5.
Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu. We sing with, please. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, מכל העמים. ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
Still Vintage Tuesday?
I got to tell you, that Tuesday vintage tasted really good at Havdalah last night.
I'm sure. I think it's page 344 in the,
Yeah.
using the black numbers in the Siddur, but you'll have to tell us the page numbers in blue.
648.
Shiru song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash.
We turn now to page 138 and 139 in the blue, or 20 and 21 in black, as we join together in Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habaracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orech kumiori. Uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Boi גם בשמחה ובצרה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה.
We turn now to pages 144 and 145 in the blue numbers. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, ubizman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam u'al me'al maya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudeshah,
Brichu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimeru.
Amen. Page 28 or 146.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
On the top of 149, praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And on page 151, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet.
On page 41 or 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. Moshe Miriam, Zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch ve'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch ve'olam va'ed. La la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shopreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread a shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. 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 Baruch atah Adonai haporez sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol hamo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
144 or 162. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We turn the page and join together in the Amidah and the evening tefillah. We invite everyone to rise in body or spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Gula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo b'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Mishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We continue silently, including the prayers of the prayer book and the prayers of our own hearts. Please feel free to be seated. We conclude at page 63 or 181. Page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael v'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai mevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Amen.
We each have in our hearts people who are in need of healing of mind, healing of body, healing of spirit. As we think of them, we offer these words of Mishaberach. I invite those of you in the sanctuary and those of you on Zoom to share names with us. And we are also thinking as a community of Martin Eskovitz, Raz Eskovitz, George Gurneth, Kathy Lowry, Jerry Ann Morgan, Susan Horn, Leonard Brody. Is anyone in the
Susan Audrey Ickler, Michael Butler, Ruth Dudley Carr, Pat Fields, Judith Kovach, Martha Bloomfield, Mickey Cooper, Doug Paul, Robin Friedman, Bill Jackson,
Mishaberach can be found on page 253 or 371. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishem Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
we add the name Rose Demmel, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, healer of the sick.
We turn now to birthday blessings. Does anyone here have a birthday in the month of September?
I know one person on screen has a birthday today.
Okay, so let's get you a mic. You're going to introduce yourself and say when your birthday is or was, and if you so choose, how old you are.
My name is Andrew Finley, and my birthday was September 11th, and I am 25.
Happy birthday. And I know that Pat Fields turned 43. That can't be right. I think Pat Fields is 87, but I'm not positive. His wife says he's 72. I'm not sure I believe her. But at any rate, happy birthday to you, Pat. And then there are a number who are on screen who also have September birthdays.
So we have Millicent Myers, who on September 2nd turned 51. Louise Malikoff, who on September 6th turned 76. Aya Butensky also has a September 11th birthday, and she turned 75. My mom, Jan, also has a September 11th birthday.
How old did she turn?
I don't know that I'm allowed to share that. That's why I didn't say the age. Susan Merenstein, let's make sure that I don't miss these. So Lizzie Fellman turned 8 on September 2nd. And Rachel Kalura turned 11. 11, yes, on September 5th. So those are the birthdays that have already passed. Susan Merenstein turned 63 on the 27th. Larry Schumann turned 78 on the 29th. And Marcy Morton turns 82 on the 30th.
Happy birthday to all of them.
Anyone else?
I know Lizzie got a purple cake with M&Ms for her birthday. I hope everybody else gets that this year too.
So blessing for all of you. May you enjoy many more in health, in joy, and in love. And a shehechianu for reaching this milestone. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Ellie Sager turns 39 for real, actually 39 on September 21st. And now time for simchas. Who has something good to share this week? On screen, you can type into the chat. Where is there?
Carla Kavam is in town. Carla Kavam is in town. There's a brunch for her Sunday morning at our place.
And you guys were able to have people over for Break the Fast again after
A year.
We had dinner with leftovers last night.
Who else has something good to share?
Oh, Steve Blooms shares that he got a new job today at Pitt.
Mazel tov. Very nice. Carol Rosenthal is going to begin a new career as an interviewee.
I survived the interview.
You did beautifully. Thank you for sharing. It was really, you have to know how much of a treat it was for all of us to be able to hear you and to listen to you. So thank you. What else we got?
Your mother-in-law is very excited to share that the work is being done on her house to be ready for closing, and that she will be joining everyone in November.
It's true. My mother-in-law is moving here in November, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I know it's good for her. I know it's good for my kids. I think it's good for Melissa and me. Who else has something good to share? Anybody on screen?
I've been reading the ones on screen.
Nobody else has anything good to share? Nothing good happened this week? We did.
Yeah.
And most of us stayed awake for it.
We got to visit our kids last weekend.
Very nice.
That's very exciting.
Nice.
I like the one about playing high hopes on the clarinet.
Oh, so I was just about to read that. I was just going to make sure that's Rachel, right? Not Elizabeth. Who's that? Okay. So Rachel is very excited that she learned how to play high hopes on the clarinet. And Dale and Lynn shared that they are glad that they were actually able to be in synagogue all week. Why aren't you here today, though?
Could you read that from here? The high hopes thing you could read from?
Yeah.
Wow. You have really good eyes.
No, it's the glasses.
Whatever. That's a simcha worth celebrating.
And Anita Gordon said that she attended the most magnificent high holiday services. Hours!
Nice.
I also got to spend the most lovely afternoon at the zoo with Yuval. It was really nice to have like just a mom-kid day after all of the work of the High Holy Days. And he like ran through quite a bit of the zoo on his own, so he's like really turning into a walker. Maybe a simcha, maybe not.
Your life will never be the same. Melissa and I actually moved into our bedroom and our closet today. We've had construction going on, so for the first time in 3 months, I'm not living out of a suitcase, which is a lovely, lovely thing.
Ose shalom bimromav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imeru amen.
Shabbat Shalom. The Torah portion this Shabbat is one that often pops up during Shabbat Shuvah. This is an unusual year, calendarically speaking, I think that's a word, where Nitzavim and Vayelech, Nitzavim was just before Rosh Hashanah, Vayelech was Shabbat Shuvah, and so this week we read Ha'azinu. Ha'azinu is almost entirely song. It is poetry, and it is the final words of Moses. It is Moses giving his final last benediction almost, his last set of thoughts. And the end of this, he's called to Mount Nebo where he meets his end. And soon, very soon, the book of Deuteronomy will come to an end and we will return to Genesis and begin again. There are 2 or 3 really fascinating pieces with Ha'azinu that I want to at least spend a little bit of time with. I promise not to speak nearly as long as I have the last couple of days. Ha'azinu begins with this great word, ha'azinu, give ear. Now, there are all sorts of words for listening that our Torah uses. The one that's most common is the one that we did in a prayer a few minutes ago. Shema, right? So what is the difference between Shema and ha'azinu? Anybody know the difference? Reb Gorban, what's the difference between Shema and Ha'azinu? I see what you're doing. To hear. It's hearing versus listening. Shema is listen up. And it's in command form. It's what you said to your 7-year-old child, or what your parents said to your 7-year-old self, right? We all have been there. Ha'azinu is give ear, it's listen, and that means something else. It's the hearing piece. And so what is it that Moses wants us to hear? Now, you can take this lots of different ways. You could say Moses is being egotistical as can be, and that Moses wants everybody to hear him one last time. You could say that this is the final end and hear how this great story is going to conclude. You could say, calendrically speaking, hear that the high holidays haven't ended yet. Sukkot is coming next week. And don't cut it off before it's done. Go through the whole cycle. And Lord knows there have been rabbis for centuries who have made that plea. Ha'azinu itself is give ear, it's hear. Hearing means comprehending, right? The difference between listening and hearing. Listening is a physical function. Hearing requires something between the ears. And as you read through what Moses says, it is as if he finally hears what God has been saying all this time. That Moses, you're not going to make it to the promised land, but you did just fine in your own life. Don't cut yourself short here, effectively. And that piece is really fascinating, especially coming the day after Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, we spend all day long beating ourselves up, all the things we didn't do right. What if instead we stood on Yom Kippur and recognized all the things we have done right? What if instead of thinking of all the mistakes and all the things that need correcting, we could spend a whole day hearing the places where we got it correct, where we made the right choice. Now, I wish I could tell you that by doing that, all of a sudden our lives would get better and we'd always make good choices. I can assure you, I am living proof that won't happen. But I can say that there's a choice that we can make. And that is, if we hear what Moses is saying, and if we hear what the prayers called us to do yesterday, then we can choose to focus and hear something different than we would have if we just listened to the prayers yesterday. It's one thing to just listen to all the sins we've done, and God knows there's a lot. It's another thing to hear it and to recognize not just the places we missed, but the places where we made it. And I think that's worth a lot. The last piece, I don't know how many of you have attended services in an African American church. I have not enough times. One of the things that I have forever been jealous of is when I see African American ministers start to preach and they build up with enthusiasm and they build up, and by the end they're singing. I've tried doing it a couple of times. Kinda, sorta. In fact, I did it here at Rosh Hashanah. When we flip over from speaking into singing, something happens. There's a change in our souls. And that's what happened with Moses. At Ha'azinu, it's the change from listening to hearing, and his soul all of a sudden comes out. And it comes out in song. And so maybe that's the call for the new year. To let our souls out a little bit, to let ourselves sing, to not be stuck on all of the other mistakes and challenges that we face, but rather to say, this is who I am, and let's celebrate. If we take that opportunity, then Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur really are a time of change, and we move ourselves from a world of failure to a world of faith. We move ourselves from a world that says, here are all the places where things didn't work out. And instead we move to a place that says, here's a world of hope, of possibility, of faith that things can yet improve. And it starts with each of us switching from listening to hearing. So the high holidays aren't quite over just yet. We still have Sukkot. We still have an opportunity to think about this, to spend time with it. And Ha'azinu is giving us a little hint. It's saying, flip over to the hearing. Move from listening to hearing. And in doing that, the new year will be better, it will be sweeter, it will be more full, it will be a good new year. I hope it's that for all of us. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. We have just a few announcements tonight, not a whole lot. Not so many. Thank you to our greeters. Our musical program, as always, is made possible with the support of Edgar Snyder and an anonymous donor. Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 8:30, back to Leviticus. Minyan service at 9:15. This coming Wednesday, we are back to having Parshat HaShavua, our Torah study class. It will take place at noon, both on screen on Zoom and in person. So we hope you can join us for that. Evening meditation Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock with Rhonda Rosen. Sukkot services, in person, on Zoom, live stream, all of those things. Erev Sukkot services will take place here in our sukkah, actually in the Rose Garden, at 7 o'clock Monday evening. Sukkot morning services we'll be doing jointly with Rodef Shalom, and this year they'll take place at Rodef at 10. Rodef has a slightly different policy than we do in terms of masking and vaccination. Registration is required to be at any in-person service. And so you'll need to go to their website and register and follow their instructions. The end of Sukkot, Simchat Torah, and Shmini Atzeret, we will celebrate here again with them, but we'll be back in our building.
Just to also note that they require you to show proof of vaccination when you register.
Offices will be closed on Tuesday in observance of Sukkot. Simchat Torah will be on Monday evening, the 27th at 6 o'clock p.m. We'll be here in person. We would love to be able to do Hakafot and the dancing with the Torahs as we usually do. We're doing things a little differently this year because of the pandemic and because of the need to distance. So instead of taking the Torahs out and bringing them around us, what we're going to do, or bringing them to us, we're going to take one Torah and unscroll it and circle all of us. And the Torah is big enough that we can space out. And so we'll have people spaced out holding it and people spaced out inside. So we'll be able to sort of take a tour of the Torah. Both Rabbi Gorban and I will be reading a little bit, one of us the end of Deuteronomy, the other the beginning of Breshit. And we'll be celebrating the end and the beginning of our Torah reading cycle. We also will be consecrating our newest students. So that will be next Monday evening, the 27th at 6 p.m. And then Simchat Torah morning services with Yizkor will be here at Temple Sinai the 28th at 10 a.m. The Intro to Judaism classes begin on September 30th. Sign up is on our website, and it's going to be taught by a number of rabbis within our community, including both Rabbi Gorban and me. I don't know if the full schedule is set yet, but it's coming soon. Rabbi Gorban has been the coordinator of all of the rabbis, and let me tell you, herding a bunch of rabbis together, not always the most easy task. I think that's a nice way of putting it. I believe that's all of the announcements for today.
I would say that herding cats is easier.
Significantly easier. We return to our prayer book to page 586, 282.
Oh, the other thing that's on the 30th, if you're not taking the Intro to Judaism class, the launch of the Religious Action Center Pennsylvania branch, our campaign for the coming year. So we have spent much of the past year, actually, since about February, trying to figure out what campaign we are going to take on. Last year's campaign was really about getting everyone out voting, civic engagement campaign. This year, the launch is on September 30th, and we are going to be focusing on voting rights access, and in particular, gerrymandering, and making sure that we have fair districts. So I hope that you will join folks, join the RAC-PA folks. Jeanette Trouth is one of our own congregants who is on one of the chairs of the group that is heading this. So I hope you'll join us for that.
Page 282, 586. We invite all who are able to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל העם. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We pause to think of those who came before us, those who gave us life, those with whom we shared life. We recall those whose yahrzeit occurs in the coming days. As you hear the name of your loved one, we invite you to rise. Leonard Bernstein, Morris Bernstein, Eva Bett, Donald Brown, Jean Butchart, Faye Cohen, Gerald C. Davidson, Daniel Farb, Joseph Farina, Bernard Fisher, Erwin Foreman, Michael Gilligan, Pinya Gluzman, Dorothy Goldberg, Eva Goldberg, Emmanuel Goldsmith, Hyman Goldsmith, William Hanna, Dolores Sarah Heller, Howard Hirsch, Albert Hyman, Lucille Idigson, Miriam Kranich, Theodore Kraut, Leo Kronzik, Ethel Lazar, Morris Leff, Louis Levin, Sidney Picorni, Ann Sisson, Oscar Speyer, Rose Steinberg, Joseph Unger, Norman Wedner, Bella Weiner, Sam Weissman, Pauline Wolfe. And to those names we add the names of those taken from us only in recent weeks: Bob Diamondstone, Jude Vachon, Barbara Salerno, Sandy Lample, Joseph Teitelbaum, and Paul Surloff.
And Rabbi Jason Edelstein.
We join together as a congregation. We turn to Mourner's Kaddish, page 294 or 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da miran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God grant comfort to all the bereaved among us. And together we say, Amen. We conclude this evening with the singing of Adon Olam, but not to the Nebraska fight song.
Not to the Nebraska fight song.
Although I'd be really impressed if you could do it on the guitar.
Not even close. I don't even know the Brandeis fight song, which apparently it now has. I don't know. When I was there for my reunion.
Go justices.
Judges.
Judges, justices, whatever.
Page 321 or 625.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
It's a repeat after me song, so I actually want to hear you repeating after me.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Tichot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'en Sheni, Lehamshilo Lehachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Ve'lo Oz Ve'am Yisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Eli, Ve'chai Goali, Ve'tzur Chevli V'yitzara Adon Olam, Ve'hu Ni Tanat Kosi V'yom Mikra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Beyado Afkid Ruchi, Beit Ishan Ve'ayira Adon Olam, Beim Ruchi Geviati, Adonai li velo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Shabbat Shalom.